Hello.
Hello, let me show you the exciting thing here. This is the evals GitHub. So I feel like today's a success, even though I'm not doing the thing I'm supposed to be doing. But big milestone that I got eval's like notebook set up, and here's the first GitHub issue. So basically, I'm trying to, I want, I want everyone to have. Okay, let me just show you. Let me just start with where my day started, which was here, and this is big enough to read. The search is terrible. I said actualize. Yeah. Okay. Um, the ideal
That's my deal.
the ideal workflow is in my head, but isn't actualized yet. And I've been trying to actualize it. And
Right.
the open medics GitHub stuff is very close to that. And I don't know, it seems to be working. So this is the example, but it's like I want to write this essay. I've been wanting to write this essay. Okay, here's the juice. Okay, I've been trying to write this essay for months now, but I can't write it by myself. I think this could be a pretty big essay if we write it correctly. And instead of, I have a million things I want to write, and they just get lost and never get done. But I know Eval also has been thinking about this. Okay, and he's thinking about it by himself. So he's also like, you know, same thing, demotivated because like, does anyone get it? I don't know. But now we have space where we can.
Distributed thought.
What's that?
Distributed thought.
Yeah, yeah. So now it's like I have this thing that's on my head that I'm not actually thinking about it, and so I'm just gonna dump my thoughts here, and then as he's thinking about it, he's gonna drop his thoughts here, and then we'll just we'll just keep doing that. So like this GitHub issue is like a place for our thoughts, and in fact, here's a beautiful thing. I tweeted that this is it. This is just it's so good. It's so good. It's really happening. I tweeted this and put the GitHub and someone was like, actually, yeah, this is how he sees artists, what they actually do. And I'm like, yeah, man, this is it. So you can actually use that in your essay and credit this guy. And now like we're writing it's like the collaborative interface, the dream, it's here. It's just people need to realize that it's here. And now I took it to the Ori Discord and I'm telling other people how much I like this and why.
Yeah.
And I bring it back here. You see?
I love it. Yeah. He doesn't have to join the Discord. You're
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
already the API glue.
Yes, yes. And I think people
It's
just
great.
don't see that because people are like, I don't know. A lot of what I do is this. I've done it again at Snapchat. I've done it small companies, do it across society. Like this will always like this is why I
The
don't build.
key is
Yeah, yeah.
the key is when you write like a message like that, it's like you want to make sure by the end of your message that you've landed in a place that feels like there's enough context to understand it, at least for wherever you're going to take it. I think the way you write is probably good. They're really suited to that.
I mean,
Because a lot of people, when they're tweeting or writing, it's like partial fragments.
mhm.
They break stuff up. So like there's a skill baked into this that can be honed.
But I also think there's like I mean this is something I've sort of been doing more of, which is I call it translation. Like on my Substack, I'll take things I already tweeted and just literally just literally take that and just add all the missing context. Like
Right.
like a viral tweet,
Right.
but like sort of explaining why what viral, explaining what it means. Yeah. Uh,
I
so
feel like
yeah,
that deserves studying and documentation, right? Because it's like getting, if you want other people to follow you through the rabbit holes of, you know, Slack and or Discord and GitHub and Twitter, if you want other people to do it too, you have to be able to imbue them with that skill.
yeah.
Because like taking random screenshots and like cross posting it doesn't quite help. I kind of calling myself out here because it's like I post things that I think are interesting, but I don't give much thought to the context. It's like, well, I have the context that matters to me. So I'll post that, and if people want to engage with that, I'll sort of show up and engage with them one on one.
But it's like a beautiful like diffing operation. Like you get if you post an out of context screenshot, you sort of get to see
Right.
that it's because each of these spaces again we speak in different languages
Yeah.
and it's just not always visible. But when you can sort of you can see it through the diffing. Yeah. But anyway, I think I'm doing good. Um,
Like it.
I think we have a good. I did. I think the Monday morning planning thing is good. There's a lot of different projects, and I'm kind of keeping track, keeping tabs on them. I yeah, I'm trying to sort of making slow progress, but I think we'll get somewhere good. I might like be working in the evening, see on the spiral dynamics thing. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about the timing of like you being in the retreat and not being able to work together
Well, I have the
slides.
rest of this week, so we have plenty of time to get it done before next week.
Right. I mean, I originally I was
Oh,
like,
you're gonna
oh,
be.
well, I was like, I'm just gonna work on spiral dynamics this week, and then I'll work on the
Mm,
slides next week. But
mm.
now I'm like, okay, because Tessus has a demo Wednesday tomorrow.
We could do both.
Well, I can just do the spiral dynamics full day. That's why I was like, just gonna do that, and
Yeah.
then tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I can switch to slides, get that in a good place, and
Yeah.
then you know Monday switch back to tests for the weekend, I guess.
You're PMing yourself.
Yeah. But again, I don't think I want to put myself in this position again. Like if I'm going to be the main engineer on the project, I need to make space for it.
Yeah.
I can't be managing this many projects and also have my own project.
Yeah, you definitely need, I would say you need one person who's got time and energy to do the tech, and then one person who's got time and energy to do the PMing work or the kind of, because it's like you can float around and do whatever the heck you want to do as you go, but you need people who are aligned with you who can reliably fill in the gaps, or at least serve as a scaffolding, and you can fill in the gaps, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the like. I think one thing is like each project needs to have an owner,
Yeah,
otherwise, yeah, it doesn't get done. And you know, if I own things, that's a bad sign because I mean,
yeah.
I kind of own everything by default. Just, you know, and things don't get done.
Owner is in the sense of like this
Like
is the
champion,
stakeholder, this is the primary,
yeah,
because it's like the people
advocate.
heading the projects, I would say. But I guess you're saying like they need people, they need somebody they can lean on to kind of keep the momentum straight.
Yes, it's like I was telling this to Pixie. Like Pixie can own the polls app, even though she's not writing code or she's not, you know, she's
Yeah.
not moving the
But
needle on it.
she's interested in it. She wants to use it.
Well,
Uh,
so she can be the owner, product owner in the sense that like she can ping the people who are supposed to be making progress and be like, "How's it going?"
Yeah.
Right. and also sort of calibrates like, okay, well, we want to do this, but we seem to be going pretty slow. So how about we change the scope to do this instead?
Right.
It's like just if you're owner, then you basically have Ruben called it like have the context loaded in your mind,
Yeah.
mm, or like most throughout the day, so that as you're looking through the world, you're like, oh, this would be a good use of it, or like this actually be, you're someone just needs to hold it.
The hardest things doing this type of stuff solo is context switching between, immediate problem solving in the narrow domain and then the larger context of like, is this useful? How is this going to be used? Where do we deploy it first?
Yeah, I think that's why, and like if you, I think research projects should have a PM who sees the big picture, which is again what the PI in a research lab is for.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, I feel good because I feel like the structure is emerging and it seems pretty clear.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Did you see what I wrote about my updated life
Oh, which one?
in the GitHub note for GitHub?
Oh, I think she sent this last night.
Yeah, I think so. It's the README here. This thing.
Meta 5.
This test is I'm co-founding Ori, and so this is me just describing like my job as the PI CEO, and
And
the missing thing is raising money. Basically paying myself. Right now, I'm not paying myself for this work,
yeah.
but
Where do you see Ori fitting into that? Because like what comes to mind for me is like either general research aligned initiatives that want to see this type of thing out there, of which there are probably a fair amount. But you could also imagine like some really heavily business inclined people who just want to incubate new ideas that they can then twist around and try to monetize. There's probably others, but I'm curious, like, what your perspective on like who's going to want to pay for this and what are
yeah,
they going to want to
yeah.
get out of it?
I mean, right now, and this is the good news because this isn't even speculative. It's just we already have clients, just or you should exist. It's
Yeah,
and ask money from them. But there's two of them. One of them is analog, and one of them is camera. And both of these are like, yeah,
technical
these funds,
solutions. Mm,
right? And what are these? Because what do they want? These people have money and they want to allocate it to stuff that will generate breakthroughs or useful projects. But either way, like high status things will make a splash, and that will bring them more money. So, so Ori's already been a pipeline, a recruitment pipeline for these places, a recruitment and discernment pipeline. Like,
these may have just completely changed my entire outlook just now.
wait, really?
Yeah, yeah. So you said, hell, I wasn't hoping for this today, but this is good. This is helpful. So you said things that cause a splash. And it was the first moment, for some reason, it just was the first moment that my mind decided that hype could be a really useful and valuable thing.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
now I'm looking at it. I don't even know if I can diagram this properly, but like, so first thing you said was something like useful or like impact or something.
sure, yeah.
I wish I
Breakthroughs.
wish I had a transcript on this. Yeah, like breakthroughs, and then you said splash. I like splash rather than hype. I can I can share this. I dropped it in the chat as well. Let me see if I can find the tab. Okay, so breakthroughs and splash. And it's like, what does breakthroughs let you do? You can save money on efficiency. You can do new things you were never able to do before. And so like breakthroughs can be quantified, right? It's like this is inherently quantifiable. And then splashes, what is a splash? A splash is like other people see potential in it. And one of the interesting things about that is they could be right. Like there could be, well, so interestingly, interestingly, like splashes, like you can quantify the amount of hype, you can quantify the amount of attention, um, qualitative, but you can't necessarily quantify the outcome, right? It's like, so you might have this, let's just say we have this thing, we made a new thing. Oh my God, this thing's amazing. We start showing this thing off and saying, this thing is really cool, right? So it's like so and so, famous person sees that and they're like, "Oh my God, this thing's really cool." They're going to share that with their followers, and their followers are going to get hyped. And it's like every sort of step in here, these things are picking up like additional hype, like plus plus one or plus plus, we'll just say. So it's like people, because this person is saying, hey, this is cool, it'll get more attention on it. Because it gets more attention on it, the people are going to take it more seriously. Because they're taking it more seriously, they're actually going to find like a use case. They might find, many different use cases, or they might feed back into the hype cycle. So I guess what I'm getting at here is like hype can be negative in the sense that like people burn out on the amount of hype, but it doesn't have to be negative. It's kind of like if you have fire, uh if you burn it without enough oxygen, you get carbon monoxide. But if you burn it with enough oxygen, you get much more just carbon dioxide. And so it's like there's a good type of hype and a bad type of hype, right? Is any of this making sense?
Pieces. I'm a little distracted. This is the sorry, I need to articulate this now. Wait back to here, but
Worries.
this is actually the valuable thing that ORI does, which
The
is
hype cycle.
no decide
Oh,
how to allocate resources,
right.
which is a pretty um it's kind of a thankless job because you're deciding who needs what, who deserves what, who gets the
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. I mean, it's just something I have to be more sort of grow a thicker skin toward, or like I don't know. We're gonna do this more. Like the people
Do
of
you
this.
have a do you have a criteria? Like, do you want to be vibe distributing? Do you want to have kind of a rubric or some kind of like,
I
hey,
should
this
now.
is
We
how
we should
we
we should we should. That's why I've sort of stopped just randomly giving people money because I mean, it's actually
Yeah.
fine to give people money, but people should, like, other people in
Yeah.
ORI should see that and they can ask questions or can like see did it lead to anything good or bad? Because like I gave Leo a grant, I don't think it helped, and I think I don't know, I think other people could have guessed that it wouldn't help,
Yeah.
but I did it. Yeah, I did it because I felt bad, which is not a good reason to give a grant.
Hey, it's a learning process. I think that's just as important as giving a grand and having it work out. Is like you call yourself open memetics or open research. It's like you're going to talk about the grants that don't work out just as well as the ones that do.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, everybody involved can learn from this, as well as people who are not involved. But yeah, I think grant giving is really difficult. I think maybe there's a reason why academia does it by asking you to articulate what you're going to do and what the effect is, and like you do all of this annoying legwork to try to orient your work towards, the outcome, right? They make you think long and hard and justify the outcome. Now, does that actually work? Does that actually ensure good outcomes? No, not at all. Like a lot of research is wasted in the sense that it doesn't reach the thresholds that they want it to. But the people who are willing to jump through this hoop are the people who are likely going to at least, I would say, make a diligent effort that is um, intelligible to
I
you,
mean,
right? So
yeah,
it's like
but there's right. So there's like it's like a de-risking thing. It's like even if it doesn't work out, it's like we did our best.
it's an alignment. Their work will be one diligent, intelligible. Can't spell diligent or intelligent.
But
Gee.
I mean, I think the real problem because the same pattern is happening on eval,
Yeah,
sort of what I was talking about at the beginning. Like or I attracts these people who are like smart people who
yeah,
care, who don't belong, who don't fit anywhere else, and we sort of welcome them here and we give them hope that like their work matters.
yeah.
And but but I don't have enough like resources or attention to help everyone, right? So this is the crash out. This is when like Ori gave me hope that my work matters, but then
Yeah,
I don't feel like it matters, and it doesn't seem
totally.
like it's going anywhere. And then they're like fall out.
Quick, quick question. How do you feel about that? About somebody saying, "Hey, you gave me hope, and now I don't feel like it matters anymore."
I mean, I do take it as my fault because I think I can. Um,
Quick
it,
clarification.
it,
I didn't ask you like the rationale. I just asked for like, how does it feel? Is it fine?
I
You're a
mean,
little uncomfortable?
I mostly just feel sad about the lost potential. Like it makes me feel like I want to work harder to help those people. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't
How
feel like
do
I regret.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's good. So it's a little bit disheartening. It's a little bit of a
right.
kind of a hit, but it's not that big of a
It doesn't make
deal.
me want to stop doing what I'm doing. It makes me want
Oh
to
yeah, yeah,
do it more, to do it right.
yeah. Um, the reason I ask is because I think that's important to calibrate. Not like, oh, you need to feel good about it. It's like, no, you feel like shit about it. That's totally fine. It's just when this stuff is happening, it's like however you feel is going to influence kind of how you process it and how you respond. So it's just good to
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's good to know those things. Um, so yeah, I think the one thing that we may be missing here, and I don't know if that's true, but it's like this call is really making me rethink some things like hype cycles and
Yeah, I was gonna say on the hype
this.
cycle thing. I don't know if I get the full picture, but the way I think about it is, I mean, attention resources are just like any other resources. Some projects need capital,
Sure,
and some
sure.
projects need attention. And right now, you have investors who can put capital into something, but who do you go to when you
Well,
need attention?
well, let's clarify. So, um, yeah, so like some projects need like people doing work need money, right? It's like the
Hmm.
to a certain point, past a certain threshold, if you give somebody money, you're basically giving them literal functional support, right? And psychological safety to kind of pursue the thing without having to think about money, right?
Hmm.
So it's like capital, attention. Um, so like, let's see, uh, literal, literal support to focus on the thing, psychological, which actually depends on how the money is distributed, if that makes sense. Because it's like if you give somebody a lump sum, that's sort of one approach. If you give them, a salary, that's another approach, and like it has a different psychological effect. Um, but like at the end of the day, like the main sort of thing is like two things. Person needs to work on something. They need input, and they need um, what would you call it? Like materials, right? So it's like they need to actually like do the research, do the thinking, tinkering, um, science, the math and science. They need feedback from consumers, from users, from others, and they might actually need resources, experimental equipment, which it could be anything, right? It could be software costs, it could be um, software, literal pipettes. Um, could be like survey resources, like survey funding, whatever, right? Could be ad spend. So like all of these things are necessary. Um, and so when you say like, oh, a person needs attention or capital and attention, it's like, what are you trying to accomplish with that money, with the stipend? Because like $1,000 is not enough to pay for most people's lifestyles. So is it like to incentivize the work?
Right, which actually
Is
that's
it
what I was
like,
like. I think sometimes like giving the money makes things worse because then they're like, oh, this is like uh this is like market proof, and
right?
if I keep going, I'll be able to make more.
Yeah, yeah, that that's a good point. I think it might be useful. It obviously needs to be left at your discretion, but it might be useful to have the hard conversations about like where does the money really come from here, and like what does it mean when we're doing a good job and putting something out that's worth money? Like, I mean, for my own morbid curiosity, it's like I really want to know. It's like how do what is market validation? What is market Validation.
And this is actually one of the biggest uh shit.
What
Do you
does
use
it
cursor?
mean? Yeah.
They've updated it since last time I used it.
What does it mean when Ori gives a grant? What is it for? Why should I want a grant from Ori? Right? It's like, am I going to be able to fund my lifestyle with this? Is it just incentive? Because like, there's a certain level where like you could have, it's like small stipend, right? And that would be, I'm really loving this category of like groups, as you can see. But it's like you have a small stipend or you have like full salary. Um, and so like this will serve as an incentive. It's validation. It's a sign of interest, right? It's an associative, associative sort of thing. And it's sort of like a two-way bond. It's like we gave you money, so we want you to succeed, so we look good, and you want to succeed, so you feel good, and maybe get more money, right? And so it's like even a small amount of money can be really useful in context, but if there's not a lot of certainty around that, then it just becomes this sort of confusing thing of like, wait, why are you actually paying me right now? It's like, am I going to get more? Is this contingent upon something else? So I think like, I don't know, these are really hard things to answer because it's like a lot of this is contingent on how much this is like patronage. So this is, yeah, prestige. Could say all of the small stipend stuff plus. Um, but I like if you don't have a lot of money to give, then you're really going to be in this like over optimizing, like, oh, how much should I give here, and is this going to work? And like I've got to be really fair. Um, if you have a secure source of funding, then you're like, okay, I'm really clear. This is the pool that I have, and we're going to be doing fundraisers, and then you kind of get into this momentum cycle. So I think if there's any sense of like, oh man, I should be doing a better job at this, it's like, no, you shouldn't. You're figuring this out in real time. Uh, I'm not sure how you're. I'm actually not looking at your face. So I'm not sure how you're feeling about all of this.
No, I mean I'm hearing it. I feel like I have. I think. Well, I think I stopped. There's a thought I had like 2 minutes
Mm,
ago.
yeah,
Uh, that is circling here, which is
yeah. Let's hear it.
where does the money come from in general?
Yeah,
Because
good
I
fucking question.
I and it's just funny. Just this, I actually want one of the things in Ori I want is like a list of open questions that sound really stupid, but that nobody knows the
Yeah,
answer to, just to show people that like we don't actually know. And I think this is one of them. Because
yeah,
okay, analog has money, right? They're getting a bunch of these big name investors and they got a bunch of money. Okay, now
yeah,
I can help analog make more money by taking their money, giving it to people who make these big splashes, and then analog then gets more money. Okay, but
yeah.
is like where but is that actually is this good or bad? Is like how can you tell the difference between a Ponzi scheme and a like we need to
Well,
trace it back
Ponzi
like
scheme comes crashing down.
well, but it's only obvious in retrospect. Like how can you
Yeah,
tell before it crash?
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's a
so
good point because it's like I'm obsessed with this, by the way. It's like when you've got an economy, and like somebody's producing one good or service, and then somebody's taking that and consuming that and producing another one, and things are being traded around. Like some people are good stewards of their money and their resources, and some people aren't, right? Like, there's a lot of people out there running businesses that don't make money. They're like slowly losing money, or they're just breaking even. They're paying themselves under minimum wage. And so those people are like, at best, they're subsidizing the economy. At worst, they're dragging things down due to their inefficiencies, right? I would draw a much more in-depth diagram, but I think you get the picture. So it's like, how do you evaluate? I guess I'll just go like this. It's like if we say value of a resource. So I'll draw an axis. So this is like over time. So somebody goes and like mines some gold, right? Or something, and somebody makes like some computer chips. And it's like, well, what's the sort of net value? Let's say, yeah, value. Um, so gold is like up here. Somebody mines some gold, somebody makes some computer chips out of it, somebody assembles a PC, and it's like at every stage they're adding value to the mix, right? So it's like whatever you sold the computer chips for, you do a little bit of extra work, you get a PC out of it, and then somebody buys the PC and they sell software, right? So maybe this person is doing like accounting
mhm.
for their job, right? And so this sort of supply chain has caused this. And now say this accounting person wants to get a job, tutoring. So they're going to use their same PC, and people are paying them for tutoring,
Mhm.
but they're not making as much as they're accounting. And so it's like it's kind of down here or whatever. So maybe that, or maybe they decide, hey, I want to learn how to program because I'm going to make a lot more money learning how to program. And
I
then they
mean,
start trying to do that, but they're not making any money
this
because
is
they're
this is
they're
actually a
like
really
buying
good
a course.
diagram. You could actually put tutoring. It could be even lower.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
but
it's not as high value as accounting. I
but
mean,
think
like
of it.
relative
Hold,
to the
hold on, hold
PC,
on.
it's like everything's going to be positive, right? Because it's like,
Wait, wait,
well, think about it
wait,
this way.
wait, wait,
If
wait.
the tutoring makes enough money for you to buy a PC, then it's positive. If the investment to get the PC, you're not making enough money to buy another one to sort of support that, then it's negative. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, but I mean, I think the point I want to make that I think you could see here is the question is answerable if you can look at the whole system. So tutoring
That was my thinking. Yeah.
and programming actually may be low or negative value, but you can then again keep looking downstream and you see that like wait, actually this accountant learning programming then allows them to do this thing
Yeah.
that
So
would increase
yeah,
value
you
for
so
everyone.
you could say if they succeed with the programming and they get a job, then they're making a crap ton of money at this point, right? So then it becomes net positive, and it's even potentially above accounting. And you can take the area under the projected curve,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? It's like if you did this is getting really dumb, but follow me for 1 second. So it's like you could say, oh, you're making enough. This is such pseudo math. I love it. You're making enough money. Are you making enough money at programming that you would have captured the area under the curve of accounting, right? It's like how long do you have to be programming before you're making that much money? Does that make sense? So it's like if we were to like say, oh, under here you're making this much money, right? And we just kind of copy this over. This is dumb. This is like visual calculus, and I'm clicking the wrong things. But it's like, okay, so that is cool, and then you have the negative opportunity cost, including the actual cost from choosing to do accounting versus programming, right? So it's like, okay, you got the time spent under here, right? And so like that can fit in there. So anyway, it's ugly and stupid, but you could sort of see it's like you can do an integral over the time you spent doing one thing versus another. The problem, the problem is you can spend hours and hours on a graph like this and not be any closer to a discrete answer. And I think that's what because because there's so many details and externalities and what ifs that the whole thing just sort of breaks down.
Like, okay, the
Sure.
economists solve this by just they're like, let's just use GDP, and then we can do all the beautiful math, and then we can actually precisely answer these questions.
Yeah.
Um, the part they're missing is that the GDP doesn't capture
Right.
the whole system, and so you're just kind of screwed. Okay, now the part that we come in, so okay, so then so then people are like, okay, GDP doesn't capture the real thing. You're just good hiding metrics, blah blah blah. Okay, yes. The missing thing is the missing thing is just better visibility, better discernment. Like,
Right.
and again, this is what ORI. This is why ORI is special. This is why a bunch of yeah, but they're kind of paying. Oh, they are paying. They have paid me for this discernment. They will say, "Hey, should we invest in this thing?" And I will say, "Oh yeah, you should invest in the accountant learning to tutor because even though that's not going to generate money, but that what that will do is it will help the accounting community. Uh, like we look at the for a lot of value, and this is okay. The final piece here is like
So yeah, you can I just realized you're right. It's like
the the
if
the, the
if we
story,
create new tutors
the
or new accountants via
this
this.
yeah
Okay.
yeah
The story what?
the story that makes a big splash is like the um story like break glass like the eject button for when the metrics don't work. The story kind of closes that gap. If you do something that doesn't generate a lot of tangible value, but it generates a lot of this immaterial like value that exists but that can't easily be captured, it tells a good story. People like it. People want more of it.
Technically,
That's
that
reward.
inspires people, which also counts, right?
But I'm saying, but you see how like the story captures what is not captured by the metric. Like, you either make a lot of money or you have a good story. I mean, you can have both, but the story can cover the cases where the money doesn't reflect the value.
I think,
That's why we sell good
yeah,
stories.
I think that the point for me that like you changed things was like this this hype, like if you didn't do the hype thing, you're basically cutting all of this off, right? If you were like, okay, we're just going to work on a thing until it's ready, right? Until it works. First of all, the thing doesn't get as good because you don't have enough people focused on it, doing stuff with it. And the second thing, so like you just say, we finished the thing, right? And so it's like if you get to this part by working in silence and not creating any hype and not, not getting any feedback, then it's not as good. But if you get to it from like right here, then when the thing is ready, like people want to use it, they already know about it, they've already done some thinking. Like the market is ready to meet you somewhere near where you're at.
Hmm. Hmm.
The problem is you don't want to mistake hype for the real thing, right? Like hype is not the thing being finished, it's not the thing working. Hype is just tilling the soil.
Right, right.
So I think having a system or a way of kind of thinking or reasoning about these things that um, puts hype in one side, right, and breakthroughs or like real improvements on the other side. I think that's really important because like they both are necessary and they work kind of differently and sort of I don't know. It's easy to get locked into one versus the other.
This is why, um, again, this is again why ORI is so special because you want like the hype thing is very powerful and a lot of people abuse it because you could just
Yeah.
instead of doing real work, you can just keep selling good stories. Um, the missing thing is to like actually like match the story with like have the best story that is real. Like it's like the I actually tried to coin this somewhere about like the delusion gap, like the biggest what's like the biggest gap between reality and story that is sustainable. Because if your stories are too good, then reality doesn't catch up. If your stories are too accurate, then it doesn't prove things. You wanna we kind of mediate this gap.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is like learning how to really understand these because first of all, um these use cases, especially these ones, the net positive value use cases where things are actually coming from this and it's measurable, it's like quantifiable. Um, this is where the hype cycle justifies itself, right? And technically, you could say this famous person hyping this is a net positive value, but it's not quite. It's sort of like halfway between, in my opinion, because it's like um, because you got a famous person's attention and they're hyping the thing, doesn't mean the thing is good. Doesn't mean it works. What we're looking for is like, where does this work in the real world? Does this work? How is it improving people's lives? Like, how is it making them improving? Is it making their work easier, their life happier or more comfortable, more interesting, comfortable,
That's what I mean. So
fulfilled?
hold on, like I think we're so if you want to get the big picture here,
Yeah,
I've been telling really good stories for the past year,
yeah,
and people have given me money,
yeah,
and I'm in now in the phase. I don't remember if I told you this because I don't. I was talking to a guy, also Berby, about how I don't want to ask for more money from Canro yet because I'm not
yeah,
satisfied that I've like fulfilled the stories
yeah.
in the way that I want to fulfill
It
them.
makes sense. Well, that kind of goes
But there, I mean,
back
well,
to this, if I can find the like you're sort of on the hook It's like on the
But
hook
like, well,
to do
I mean,
what they paid for. So no,
Tessus and Pix, well, s- yeah. So Tessus and Pix have convinced me that I actually have fulfilled,
yeah,
value to them in that, and the proof of that is that they keep coming to me to ask me, they're asking me how to allocate their resources. They're like, hey, we want to fund this guy. What do you
sure,
think? Can you review it? Or in the case of analog, they're funded people that I've
yeah.
recommended, told them.
No, that's legit.
So like I actually I delivered the thing, which is I said I'm just going to create this memetic network, this intelligence agency with high discernment, and I'm going to find diamonds in the rough. Like I've actually I've
Yeah,
done it. It's just that I'm not satisfied because my ambitions are so
yeah,
high. Um, which actually is a real this is a real problem. Like people who deliver less get paid a lot more just because they optimize for the opposite. They don't care about how much they deliver, they care about how much money they can make.
sure.
Um,
We
yeah,
get to
okay,
share the
so
world with those people.
and but now we're not gonna dismay or despair. We're gonna compete. Okay, last piece is this is why I'm obsessed with. I'm also a little scared about the native argument project because if I'm that would be concrete value. Completing that project would deliver concrete value and would give you a market signal, real market
Okay,
signal because it's B2C. B2B is actually kind of like B2B can be a Ponzi scheme because you can just have a chain of companies paying each other.
B2B.
But until it hits B2C, that's when the real. But even then, it's a little bit.
I mean, technically, the cycle of value never truly ends. We're all connected in the great
I
circle of economies.
because but hold on, but I feel like we should do more of this like small scale society. Like
Yeah,
I had when I was young, I had this image of imagine a society where only 100 people.
sure. But they would still have to trade with the outside.
Well, well, no, there's no outside. There's humanity. There's only 100 people, all of humanity,
It's not enough people.
just for the sake
We
of
we
this.
would die off in a few generations. I'm sorry.
Let's whatever number you
Yeah,
pick. Let's say they all work because they have to get enough
yeah,
food. They all have to work. Now,
sure,
somebody invents a little machine that makes it so half the people need to work.
sure.
Okay. Now only half need to work. That's great. What do the other half do? They're just kind of sitting around. Okay. Now one of those people that's sitting around starts giving out haircuts. Okay. Now some people like, give him more food
Yeah.
in exchange for doing that work, haircuts. And okay, that in that case you can actually see how like the economy is growing. The economy is growing because you've created a demand for new work that didn't exist before. And people don't need haircuts. They could just live just fine. But now you're like, well, if we like the look, if we sort of created this new beauty standard that didn't exist before
Yeah,
and people want it and makes people
that's
feel good,
valid.
it's growing. It's and I mean Ogi would say it's like this like creating new purpose. Like you can actually measure the economy, how much purpose is in it and how much purpose is being fulfilled. Actually, let's just say how much purpose is being fulfilled. Honestly, some of this stuff is really simple. Like at the end of the day, all you have to do is instead of GDP, you just use purpose. And the question is like, well, how do you measure purpose? Well, like you can. It's just not easy for everyone
Is
to
it
measure it,
fungible?
but we can. Is purpose fungible? No. I mean, there's a value hierarchy that's subjective, but it exists.
Way more.
What?
How do you know how do you validate the,
No, I know that. Well, we could do the polls app. We could do the survey. Like we know there are things that I know there are things I care about more than
sure.
others. I care about certain purposes more than others, and I know there's more people like I can measure that. I can see what are the things that like the biggest group of people like each egregore sort of has a value hierarchy of purpose. Um,
I think this might be radical. I think it is. So, so I'm thinking as a human being, you have 24 hours in a day, right? You multiply that by your skill and you get your output, right? However, you also need enjoyment or engagement. Like some of that can come from the skills that you're putting in, but some of it has to be like free time and stuff. So it's like what we're really doing here is talking about attention allocation. Because if you're saying like, oh, this thing really matters to me, you're talking about like fashion or fitness or looks or whatever, like haircuts. It's like that can be a really meaningful way to spend your time, right? And it like goes into your head and it creates this sort of integrated sense of like, oh, I'm happy. But that's in some ways that's highly arbitrary, and you could just as easily dedicate that time to like street racing, right? Or mimetics.
mhm.
And some people try to align their interests with their work, and some don't. But at the end of the day, it's like what we're really talking about is keeping people busy in a way that is internally coherent, that they
Yep.
reflect on after the fact. You know, like type one fun versus like type two.
I think so. Like one that takes effort and
Yeah,
one that
fun at the time,
is leisure. Yeah.
fun after the fact.
Mm. Like the second one's more like a hobby, like building something
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, and
growing.
then type three is like never fun. Type three is like you have something to prove.
Yeah. I mean, then you're not, then it's not fun. Yeah.
And so like you can think about meaning in that way. Type one meaning or I don't know, enjoyment or whatever. And then type two, um, the idea is, are you spending your time in a way that you enjoy at the moment, right? Which there's different qualities to that. Because you could talk about like hedonism versus, surfing your waves of attention. Like I think was it today or last time that you were like, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, but I'm really happy, right? And it's
Yeah.
like to me, you're giving your brain what it wants, you're giving your system what it wants, and that feels really good at the time, and it may end up feeling good afterwards, and it's sort of outcome dependent, somewhat outcome dependent. And then I don't know what type three would be. It's just like sacrifice or whatever. So what we're really talking about is like, hey, people are complex machines that are trying to solve, for three categories of meaning. And it's actually a really hard equation to solve. Because like regardless of what you're doing, you have a hedonistic tone or valence from whatever you're doing at the time. And so that could be, if you're surfing your waves of attention in a way that feels good to you, right? Then you're like, oh, actually, I'm really happy, right? If you're doing it in a way that doesn't feel good to you, you're like, well, I'm doing it for type two meaning. It's like this is going to be worth it when I get to the outcome. Or if you're just literally insane, I don't know.
I mean, so actually, wait, so you're getting pretty close here to like we could start to talk about like the alignment problem,
Yeah.
the universal human alignment. Because okay, look, think of it this way. I think of it as a human who doesn't have purpose is a problem for society to solve. And you can solve it in two ways. They can make up fake. They can just create purpose out of nothing, and just do it. Okay, that solves their problem. Or you can sort of find unfulfilled purpose in society
Great.
and give it to them. Now that solves two problems. Now you're rewarded by society and you're individually happy. Okay, great. Okay, now, okay, so this is the base picture. Some of that stuff happens to make money, and some of it doesn't. And what ORI is doing is trying to make money from the things that can make money, and then use that to invest in the things that don't make money, that are still, but we know that they're still good, and we know that it's good. This is our own judgment. And it's subjective, but it's still objective in the sense that it's measurable. Like we don't just kind of like do it randomly. We do it based on our vision of society, and we can track whether it's going well or not. So it's actually, so this is why, like, I haven't talked about this publicly because it's crazy, but it Ori is an incubator slash church.
I don't know why, but I like that so much. I'm like 10 times more interested in Ori now that you've said that.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck, all right, time for a new kind of church.
I actually, so you know what I was gonna do? I was gonna make the website, and then I was gonna put that. I was gonna make a,
Yeah, it's the Church of Ori.
the normal this. Hold
Oh,
on, no, normal description on the front
okay.
page. But then if you look at the source code, you'll see HTML
Uh,
comments, and I'll leave it in there. And yeah, and so it's like I'll tell people to look there for like the real answer. Uh, I want to do subscribe. This is what I want to do to the website. I just I should have done it a long time ago though. I tell you I wanted to make the website, the homepage, just the teal draw canvas,
yeah.
and like to update the website, we just go in the canvas and change it. I still think it's worth doing. It would be so easy. I mean, I'm actually wondering, instead of linking to tealdraw.com, we can. I see. I'm undecided here. Would you make it like in GitHub? Like you change the tail draw locally, and then you push, and then it's live, or would you literally iframe or just link to the canvas?
I don't know.
The the latter, the reason I like the latter is because I can give access to people. Like imagine you had access, imagine Oz has access. Imagine all of us having a corner on the canvas. Like every week you update, like what are you doing? It's like the white
Music to my
the
ears.
front page is literally a whiteboard. Isn't that amazing? Like the front page of ORI is a whiteboard that gives you the current state of humanity, and you check it, every now and then to see what's going on.
Okay, I love it.
Uh, I could make, I'll just do it then, and no one can stop me.
Okay. I like the idea of um interesting. I like the idea of like onboarding people onto Ori. It's like, hey, if you're willing to update, on what you're doing, like you're already a researcher, you just don't know it yet. Like here's your whiteboard. It's like you can sign in or whatever or get approved or just start using it. Like I like that idea.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is sort of what I was hoping the GitHub or Discord, the Obsidian stuff would be. It's like I don't want you to. I don't know if this is obvious to everyone, but I think it should be clear to you. The way to keep the documentation updated isn't to do your work and then document. It's to just surface the work. Like your workspace should be.
Right.
I mean, that's the ideal. If you make your workspace public, then that's it. You don't have to document anything 'cause it's already.
Exactly. I like that. I could get behind that. Yeah, so I've thought about this stuff
Yeah.
for a long time actually. It's interesting that we sort of was able to weave it in here a little bit, but it's like this is where I'm focused right now, and it's not working. But like the idea is like you need to make money, right? And so like getting these two things
Mhm.
aligned seems actually really hard. But when you're trying to solve all three of these at once is when, it's a three
Oh yeah.
body problem essentially.
But there's something weird about, I don't know if this is what you're gonna say, but solving the more ambitious problem is easier than solving the smaller
Could be.
problem. Well, I mean, it's not always true, but I think it's true in some cases
Die
because
trying, maybe.
because everything will be no, but it's because everything is bottlenecked on the other thing. It's like you like by default these things are fighting against each other, and so you try to have a job, but it kills you, but then you quit
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and you feel good, but then
So,
you
oh,
lack money. So actually, there's actually no solution. There's no partial solution. So you can't. So it's hard. It's a difficult problem. It's impossible,
yes.
possibly.
I can't draw this
But the
very
harder
well,
problem is
but
easy.
there's a hedonistic tone. Here's the making money, and here's the accomplishing real change. I'll just do it as like a big arc. And so it's like if you're trying to align to this, you're going to be disappointed. I think that's what I'm running into right now. Um, I'll make that green. If you're trying to align to having meaning, it's a little bit easier. Um, but you'll notice the dissonance with this one after a while. We'll just call this like actualize. So yeah, I think you're right. It does make sense to tune into this one more. The problem is it's like, how the hell are you going to know if you're getting this one right or not? Really? It's like you can only listen to your intuition, right?
The the meaning.
The self-actualizing. It's like there's no way to
Mhm.
really measure, are you really changing the world or are you just moving money around? Are you just enslaving people to these glowing rectangles, you know? It's like, did Steve Jobs like I think it's true that he did, but we could actually have a meaningful discussion about like to what extent, to how much. I don't know. So yes, I think
Sorry.
being able
Yeah.
to talk about and articulate, and this is where like Ori comes in. It's like, can you articulate where you are with this?
Me personally,
Well, yeah, sure, but like a person, put it
in
in a
general,
research
yeah.
proposal. And I think some of them can, like some of the people, like I remember talking to Brady, and she was really clear on like what she wanted to do. It was like being able to get it done. It's like how do I actually move towards this? That was the tricky part. So it's like, can you really maybe start here and then back your way into it? This is like vision, execution, and this sort of, I don't know what you'd call this, is
I
like,
mean, like Brady was stuck on that articulated in a research proposal piece.
well, she knew exactly what she wanted to do, right? Like create new transparent
Hmm.
supply chains that people could,
Right, right.
inspect end to end. Where it gets really hazy is like, what is the action that you're taking to do that? Because it's like the bigger you are over
I,
here, the
I,
harder this becomes.
I oh yeah, yeah. Well, okay. So this is what I meant about again, solving a big problem is easier, and this is where Ori can plug in the missing pieces. A lot of people, I'm very sad that Brady's gone.
Yeah, she
Um,
hasn't given up on what she's doing. I just don't think she wants to.
I feel like someone else needs to connect with
Yeah.
her. I feel like Ori can help her, but I also understand that. This is also a problem, like being a personality. Like I'm
The problem is it's
thinking, like,
like the Ori
well,
pipeline. It's like if you're this is the
I mean,
gifted
actually, no,
child
but
pipeline,
I don't know. Hold on, but, right? But I know, like I failed Brady in the same way I failed Oz and the others.
Okay.
That like I sort of I depict to the story that her work is important, which I do believe it is,
Absolutely
and that
important.
she can just and that she can do it, and that if she writes the proposal, she'll get funded, and all her dreams will come
Yeah.
true.
So
Okay.
where does that break down?
Now it broke down again. I think purely because of the lack of resources, like specifically time and attention. Like if I could work full, if I was working full time on,
Okay.
honestly, I think I can do two or three at a time. Like if I had Brady as,
Yeah, but I don't think you're wrong. I think
no,
this is where the real
I
challenge in
I
what
mean
you're trying to do comes
this is
in.
no
It's like at some level, you have to pick winners. And
right.
I know that one, you want to pick everybody. I know that you believe everybody's a winner, and I agree with you in principle. In practice, you have to come up with some kind of strategy to prioritize and to make that hard decision because you will always have limited resources. You, the amount of potential you see will always dramatically exceed the amount of resources that you have on hand because it's just you're a very
Right,
visionary, optimistic person.
right. No, but this is why I'm trying now to lean, yeah, into making money, picking the most promising projects, executing on them that will grow resources. Like we're always going to have a gap between what we want to fund and what that's what I said earlier. Remember about like we're gonna have to make hard choices about who deserves what. And I think everyone deserves to have their dreams fulfilled. Because they also they're doing important work, but I can't fund everyone I want to fund. I can't help everyone I want to help. And that's it's always gonna be
Yeah.
true. But I can raise my resources
Yes.
to do more.
The question,
And
yeah,
that's what I'm doing. That's what we're
it's
doing now. Yeah.
basically a business. It's like, can you take the resources you have, chew on them, produce outputs so that you can take on more resources and chew on them and produce more outputs? It's like, what does it take for you to turn what you're trying to do into something sustainable? And I would say just traditionally, it's the same thing. It's like you have to just figure out how to make it work and then optimize.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's so we're that's exactly the phase we're in here. It's like, can we make this business? And I feel a little pressure relieved on that because analog is already a business. They're already proving that this works. And I don't even
They
have to,
did
I'm not
this.
competing with them.
They did this for you.
Right. So they're doing the fundraising. So I can either like, or we can actually just kind of be a team within analog,
Sure.
or like, this kind of close partner, or we can just kind of copy what they're doing.
Yeah. It's hard to say what's
They're a group, but they're creating the market, like when you're trying to sell something new, people are like, what the heck is that? Versus when you were saying like, oh, I'm like that company, but I do it different, that's it.
yeah. Gonna have to drop off. My checkout time is coming up.
Oh yeah. Wait, so what's your like, what are you doing tomorrow?
Absolutely nothing. I'm just
Okay, so
I'm so
you're
unmotivated right
around.
now that it's just like if it wasn't that I had to check out today and jump on a call with you, I probably would still be in bed. Just like not doing anything.
I mean, if you want to just kind of keep jamming on the
Sure.
outline talk sketch style, on the whole project and just like,
Yeah. Can
send me stuff as you're
you
doing it, we
do
could
you
do
have a
that.
clear
Yeah.
idea of like what you want to talk about? Like it doesn't have to be like specifics, but like the frame of
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of still juggling like two or three, but I'm leaning towards just picking like a good, simple one that is like a banger,
could
and
you
it's like
articulate like what your argument is or what
I
you're trying to prove or show
what
or impact?
right. I mean, one of them is like basically the track you had, which is like love is epistemologically necessary. Okay, given that, how do we apply that at scale? And that's the
Okay.
whole talk. And
So
we
yeah, I
just talk
think
about
a
that.
good
Okay,
portion of
that's what.
that is sort of presenting the idea that love is epistemologically necessary, substantiating that, and then assuming the audience is now bought in, what does this look like for us? And making
Yes,
that seem
yes,
accessible so it's something they can turn around and start doing tomorrow.
right. And I want to show. I mean, either, and I think in all the talks, I want to show that this isn't just hypothetical. We've been
Yeah,
doing it. We just now are going to do it more.
we're going to do it with you.
Uh, I want to,
We're going to bring you guys
yeah,
into the. You are now. You're now what
okay.
deputized. Epistemological
I
lovers.
guess they all revolve around this. The other kind of thing is like um, just explaining the anatomy of an argument project
Mhm.
and saying that um, basically explaining to people that we are a psychotech lab
Like that. Psychotech Church, Psychotech Lab.
and like we can. I also like I was going to show like the ideological Turing test. I think people like that if I explain that.
Mm,
Do you know about that?
I don't
Heard
think
about
so.
this? Someone made a little web app. It's actually brilliant. It's very like aligned with
Mm.
us. Um, this is like a research paper that someone made a web app out of it, where you basically try to. It's like a anonymous chat app where you basically see if you can tell if the person is a Democrat or Republican, or if they're pretending to be a Democrat or
I
Republican.
remember seeing something like that a while back. Yeah, it's
And it's just
humiliating.
well, the thing is that like this is what a the anatomy game actually is. It's about
Mm,
language. Like I one way to explain the game is to, and actually this is how I'd actually maybe pitch it. It's a game
right.
where you go try to speak the language of whatever group you want to
Mm,
influence. It's literally infiltration ops,
mm,
but like fun. Okay, so then if you can talk to the less wrong, if you can talk to the rationalists, if you can talk to Teapot in a way that they recognize you as one of their own, then great. You can speak the language, you have their worldview, you accurately depicted it. Now that you can do that, um, that's when you can spread an idea or like try to change someone's mind.
I definitely want to see some
And okay,
examples of what that looks like. I'm sure you have plenty, but it's like, here's me infiltrating less wrong. Here's me infiltrating, these weird crypto people.
I mean, but this is the ethics quandary, and this is why we're like sort of trying to explain the
You're
rules of the game
allowed to
before we
chat
start
with
playing the game.
people. It's the internet. It's free. It's open.
Uh, it's just it's just but this is why no one's done this yet. Like
Yeah.
people do this, but they hide it. There are people who want to do this openly and kind of do it in very small. We're like the only people doing the crazy thing where we're just gonna do it without prior consent, but we're just gonna we're not hiding it, but we're also not advertising it. But anyway,
Citizen
but this
researchers.
fits in with love. Yeah. This fits in with love is epistemologically necessary because in order to speak their language, you have to think like them. You actually have to become
Right.
them. Um, you can't hate them and do it because then
It's hard to hate somebody
then
you,
yeah
you understand.
yeah. I mean yeah, the corollary of the thing is that hate is a like a cognitive handicap.
Yeah.
It makes you stupid. Uh,
What
okay, well
love is a cognitive nootropic.
yeah. Uh, so but yeah, so I mean that's basically it. If we can just kind of explain that and then show people how the game works and that our ethic, and then we can just sort of discuss ethics a bit.
Cool.
Uh,
Game. I'll set up
I
I'll,
think
I'll write a little bit more about what I want to show. I think I just want to do some demos and stuff, but yeah.
I think those will be cool, yeah, and because but they all fit into under this theme of like understanding people and then checking your understanding in this open experiment. Yeah, the thing we're doing that will blow people's minds is it's an open experiment, and we're normalizing open experiments, and we think we can do it sustainably. That's it.
Love it. All right. Well, I have to run. I got to get out of here in the next 10 minutes. So I
All right.
will I
All
will
right.
catch you later. Cheers.
Great. See ya.
Bye.